Good Sunday morning, Tri-State. This is the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show. We are on the air, aren't we, Bobby?
You are.
Okay, great.
Good to go.
Bobby, you got to bring that mic over and closer where you can,
Just keep it here? Is that what you're saying? Just keep it here close to me?
A little, I'm having to train Bobby on this, I don't know why.
People don't want to hear from me on the Charlie Butler Show.
Bobby back in the 90s was a screamer on the radio anyway,
Didn't really scream.
Were you more...
I was just conversational, just like this.
Were you more like that Al Morgan rock disc jockey, like, hey, man, we just listened to the Who,
No, I wasn't like an AOR jock, and I wasn't like an 80s.
Well, I think you sounded... my parents listened to GBF all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too, but...
You remember you remember Bobby G?
I can remember him on the radio, and it was just like...
It's just like this, right? I'm just
it was
just
no
talking like I talk.
Well, how'd you get to be such a big star with the women? Well, no, it is. It's always the women that just think,
That's just because it's always the women that you ask.
No, they brought it.
He's got plenty of men that he's a big star with.
I've got
too.
the one woman that I need to be my fan.
Your wife.
My wife, yes.
Okay. Good
Don't try to get me in trouble, Charlie.
Good answer, Bobby. And
It's getting hot in here.
That
already.
was a good answer.
That was a good answer. So, who am I supposed to help now? I'm very good at matchmaking. Bobby's married.
Yep.
Candace is engaged, and unbelievably, not to one of the guys I tried to fix her up with.
No, not to one of the married.
I fixed you up with
Rich guys.
Rich guys.
Yeah. You tried to. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And everybody has a mistake, but they only had one thing wrong with them.
And some of them were a little on the older side too.
Okay, well, they were experienced.
Well, yeah.
But they just had one thing wrong that you seem not to be able to get past.
I know that.
The one thing wrong was that they were friends with Charlie.
Right.
Well, there was one other thing I think.
Married. Most of them were married.
Yeah.
I was like, no, and old.
Well, a couple of them had got divorces for cheating on their first wife.
Right.
So
Sign me up.
So you want those kind of guys to be with Candace?
Yeah, I was just, they were unattached then.
He was like, oh, that man eater will get in there and clean it up. It'll be fine. No, I was like, no.
And
Brandon's already married too, so you can't.
I know.
Fix
I
him
knew
up.
Brandon was married. Brandon has a very pretty wife, by the way.
I know. I've met her. She is very pretty.
Yeah, and she would be more my type than Josh would be. So
Oh, okay. Well,
and I haven't seen Bobby's wife, so
She's beautiful. She's not your type.
Oh,
she's a Cubs fan as well. So
she's a Cubs fan.
well, yeah.
I didn't. Well,
I mean, she is after being with me for, almost 30 years.
a Cubs fan by marriage.
Yeah.
You know the great thing though about marrying a Cubs fan.
I don't know. What is it?
For a guy, it's great because you don't have to give him a ring.
Yeah. Where's my rim shot?
But anyway, besides we're talking about Candace DeArmond and our producer Bobby Gates, our overpaid producer.
For sure.
Yeah,
No question about that.
That last contract you negotiated just was really a killer.
I was holding out.
like the Cubs have.
That's right.
Okay, but also, and Candace DeArmond is the Candace we've been talking about. For those that don't know, that aren't regular listeners, and if you're not, shame on you. But Candace is the president of the Butler DeArmond Real Estate Network, and which owns the Charlie Butler team, and so she runs both of those, and does a very good job at it.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
And also with us today is Brandon Krohn from Luminate Bank. How are you today, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
You still happily married?
I am.
Okay.
Very happily.
All right. So I just want to make sure I'm here for you, Brandon, if you need.
I didn't know that this was part of the deal.
Yeah, this is part of the deal, man.
You never know.
You never know
what the deal is going to include.
You really don't. Yeah, that's why I said you had to sit there, because if I do, it's too close for me to kick his chair out from underneath him.
And part of this, me being this way on the radio, is Bobby's fault, because Bobby started out producing me, and I was good overall back then, and then Leslie Morgan comes in and replaces him. And you can imagine how
She corrupted you, is that what you're saying?
You can imagine how, Bobby, you know Leslie, so you can imagine how my personality and Leslie's personality.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
We would talk. We would go entire half hours that had to be wiped out completely. Leslie, the one I remember is Leslie's after divorced boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I said, Leslie, and we got in detail about that. I said, this is going to make a great show. She said, yeah. She said, it would have if I hadn't already erased the whole thing. But no, Leslie is great. And
yes.
She's, I wish her, she's left KDQ since then, but I wish her nothing but the best.
Yep.
And have you seen her?
Every once in a while, we'll run into each other or
I haven't seen
chit chat on the phone or whatnot.
Yeah. But so, Candace, how's the market going as far as real estate sales?
I think that things are picking back up. I know last week we were talking about how in the month of February I had 3 different houses that I listed that went immediately and then had multiple offers on them as well. So, I mean, it was.
And I know you got several more clients right now that are either buying or selling, they're ready to get in the market right now.
Yep. I've got quite a few that they're getting ready to list, and then I've got some buyers there's some that are working with the guys over at Luminate right now, and they're getting their credit on track, and we're about to start shopping. So
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think things are picking back up a little bit. So
yeah, I hear you guys talk about not just you, but other that they've sent stuff almost always to Luminate.
We've seen. We're seeing the same thing. Applications have picked up in the month of February, for sure. And there's one product I'd like to bring up, or a program that we have. I don't even know if you guys have been made aware of it yet, but you mentioned multiple offers on houses and things like that, and for buyers to get their offer to stand out, that's something that's hard to do sometimes. And we have a product called what's called a Lightspeed pre-approval. What that does is all of our we're confident that all of our pre-approvals are going to stick, but this one we're putting our money where our mouth is. So we're running it through underwriting and getting a full-blown approval on it. But whenever we issue that pre-approval letter for people that go through this program, it's attached with it is a $15,000 guarantee that we're going to hit that closing date. So if we don't, we cut a check to the seller for $15,000.
Wow,
so,
that is huge.
There's other reasons why loans fall apart or deals fall apart. If an appraisal comes in short, that's a loophole for us. But yeah, so if you have 3 or 4, say there's 3 or 4 offers on a property and they're all very similar, but your buyer has the $15,000 guarantee on it, that's going to make a big difference for you.
Yeah.
That's a good program. The most, I've heard some other lenders doing that, but I've never heard anybody do it for that much. I think the highest I've heard is $10,000.
Yeah. It's it becomes more of a novelty whenever things are heating up, whenever there's more multiple offer situations, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you're in a multiple offer situation, and Candace could speak to this, it would be helpful if you had that look, Mr. Seller. If it doesn't sell, this company will cut you, or if they miss the closing date, they'll cut you a check for $15,000.
Yeah.
And you can also use that. You can also use some of these tools. Since we're partners, you can use them in your listing presentations as well, because you can just own these as your own. So there's a multitude of ways you can use these types of products to help your business.
And I mean, we talk about the different kind of products that you offer that others don't, but I guess we should speak to the fact that you offer you are a full menu of services.
Yeah.
FHA. Is there any of the normal products you don't offer, Brandon?
No, we do them all: conventional, FHA, USDA, VA, construction, non-qualified mortgage products such as bank statement, income products, asset qualifying products, everything under the sun as far as residential mortgage lending goes. We do it.
Have you got any of the old liars loans for the pre-08 loans?
No, no. Those are a thing of the past. But we do, however, if you have your self-employed borrower that prefers to keep more of their money than turn it into Uncle Sam, we can use 12 months worth of bank statement deposits to qualify their income instead of tax returns.
So you do offer that the way it was meant.
Yes.
Back then, the
Yeah,
low doc or no.
Yeah, they still have to have the credit, and they still have to have
Right.
legitimate verifications on that stuff. What you're referring to is definitely a thing of 2007.
Yeah. It started with a low doc and no doc, and then it become really no doc.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon was around then, like I was, so you remember that.
I got into the business in 2006, so I had a taste of that. Not a long time before it all went away.
Well, you had a brief taste of the really good times.
Yeah.
And
I've been through it all, the ups and downs over the years.
That 06 was a great time. Yep. But I think I'd look back. I think I made the most money in 06 that I've made in real estate. Yeah.
Yeah. For mortgage professionals that have been in the business as long as I have, our best years are still COVID.
Well, COVID was great. Yeah. COVID was great.
Yeah, mainly because of the low rates. Refinance business, along with purchase business, was off the charts.
My partner and I, Jennifer McBride, when COVID first, we think, okay, our business will go to nothing. So we lease a floor in the German American Bank building, and so we go to German American, their CEO, and say, hey, we can pay the rent for a while, but it's $13,000 a month roughly. We can't pay it for, don't worry about it. He said nobody's going to be able to pay while this COVID thing's going on. Okay. So he said, you just pay what you can. Within a week or two, we were having record months. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just went crazy.
Yep.
And we had record months for a long time through there. Yeah. I mean, I know you did very well during that time.
Yeah, I did.
It was definitely a weird time. Right away when everything shut down, lending guidelines all got tighter. Everything got tighter. Everyone at the time, our minimum credit score was 580. It went up to 640, just like that. Programs went away. Everybody thought the end of the world was about to happen.
Yeah.
That lasted about, like you said, a few weeks, and then boom, everything took off.
And I had a client, and we mentioned every once in a while I mentioned on the show, but Dave Herman, who was a big investor. Dave had just finished a house on Conlin. You remember how crazy the offers were then.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, he said, let's list it. And he gave me a number about $10,000 less than what I'd told him. I said, Dave, we can get more money in this. He said, I know. I just want to see how many offers we're going to get and how high it's going to run. Yeah. And so he started way or 10,000 under and still wound up way over.
Mm-hmm. That was a great strategy to price. It still is, in my opinion. Price it competitively and let the buyers fight over it.
The highest I heard in our market, and you've dealt with Tuesday from Tracy, and Tuesday had one. She's representing the buyer. It went $75,000 over full price and got beat.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This is in Evansville.
Yeah.
Now you get someplace like I've got a friend in Austin, Texas, at Keller Williams headquarters, and and all these California companies were starting to move to Austin then, and they were telling people, they said, look, if you're going to go buyers, they said, if you're going to go less than $100,000 over full price, don't bother going out looking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm flying home once from Austin, and nice weather, and I'm going through TSA, and forgetting I had a Keller Williams shirt on, a Keller Williams knit shirt, and the guy, his older guy, he said that was working there. He said, "Sir, can you step out of line, please?" And I'm thinking, what did I do? I haven't even got to the thing where they look at my, and so I step out, and he said, "Look," he said, "I'm sorry to bother you," but he said, "My son's been looking for a house." And he said every time he finds one, he gets beat. Mm-hmm. You know, I said, well, he said, "What's your advice?" I said, "As soon as he hears about it, get a hold of his realtor and go look at it immediately, you know, and get your offer in as fast as possible." But yeah, that was some crazy times then.
Yeah.
And but anyway, back to, and today's good. Today's good right
Absolutely. You know, I feel like we're back to more of a normal market finally.
now. I agree.
You know,
There's still not enough inventory, is there, Candace?
No, there is not enough.
It's
inventory.
better, I know. But
It is better, but there's not enough.
yeah. I can't remember the last time that there was.
Yeah, I can't either.
it's been well, it was before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
You know, when it
years.
was, yeah. And but Candace, the sweet spot, you know, where we're really missing inventory, what, that 150 to
150 to really 250.
That's what
I mean,
I'm-
that is really, it's hard to find anything in those ranges. I'll have people, that's where they are. And I'm like, oh, well, there's 2 houses in the MLS
Yeah.
and neither one of them are in the school district you want, you know.
and if there is one they like, they better get there fast.
Right. Yeah. That's
Because, you know, Ashley in our office, I can't, how many times she's got a client right now, she's got beat a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because people say, "Oh, we'll go look at it tomorrow," and she tries to, you know,
it may
don't
not
wait.
be there tomorrow.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and it's not, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that client of yours, Candace, on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had showings from early in the morning till like 6:30 at night
Yes.
for a few days there.
Yeah, yeah. We actually ended up having to turn some people away. I called and, you know, because we started to get offers and our deadline was sooner than what all the appointments were. And there were some people that are like, oh, my client doesn't get off work in time to come earlier, because I was calling them, hey, do you want to try and get them in before? Because by 4 o'clock we have to, you know, and then literally as I was typing everything in to pin it in the MLS, I had 2 agents also call and try to get in. It was crazy.
Brandon, that brings a good point up here. Oh, but before we get that good point, I'll hold this good point. I'll never remember it, but anyway. The Charlie Butler Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bossy Title. Bossy does a great job. I know Candace and I always use them. Most of our team uses them. Brandon uses them. And they are the official title company of the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show. And if you want to see some friendly and cute dogs also, you go see Norm and Phil, because they are, I guess, they're the official greeters.
I think so. Yeah.
Phil now greets. Norm's taking a nap sometimes, you know. So
Norm always comes out first whenever I'm
is
there.
he? Yeah.
I think that he probably smells Lenny on me and wants to be sure that he makes Lenny mad. You know, I don't know. So, but and their number is 812-421-4000.
Yay!
Again.
And so see the good folks at Bossy Title. They've got a great staff, and I mean they do a very professional job. And the great thing about them, we talk about this all the time, is anybody, and Brandon brought this up, anybody can do these deals, title companies, when things all go exactly right. But when they start going wrong, I think that's what separates Bossy.
Yeah.
You know, they're very good at getting through problems. And it's okay. So let me try to remember what I was going to say. Okay, you were talking about
the house on the west side and having to turn people away.
I know. Okay, so Brandon, So I'm standing there with somebody, and I should have, but I don't have them pre-approved yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on a Saturday afternoon. So can I reach you or someone on your?
Absolutely, me or any of you guys on my team. But yeah, we most certainly we work when you need us to work, and when the customer needs us to work.
And I can vouch for that. I have multiple times called these guys in the evening and on the weekends, and they always, Jacob, that one night last summer, because it was such a sudden thing. He was 8:30 at night. He was working on everything to make sure he got us a.
Jake does an awesome job.
Yeah,
and,
he really does.
Part of what allows us to do things that easily and quickly, in you guys' head, you might think that we're in the office in front of our desktop computer and our monitors. Like, there's a lot of this stuff that can be done right from our phones with the tech that we have.
Sure.
So that allows us to be able to do those things for the customers. And in a competitive market, people don't have time to wait till Monday to get their pre-approval or get that offer in. They need it now. And we're able to work with those clients and get them pre-approved in, sometimes in a matter of less than an hour from when.
And I've heard realtors, I don't think some really get that. And I'm glad that's why I brought, because they'll say, well, I went and showed a house and my client was willing to make an offer over full price, but I didn't have them pre-approved yet. Which shame on them for not having pre-approved in the future ahead of time, but it happens, So they could be standing in the driveway getting a pre-approval from you, right, Brandon?
Absolutely, yeah. To a certain extent, if they're willing to go through the process, which only takes a few minutes to get the information, that people can upload their documents right from our mobile app on their phone, and we can have that done through an automated underwriting system and everything in a matter of, like I said, less than an hour from the first time we speak to them.
Right.
So yeah, then they can go in and make that offer with confidence, and not miss out.
So, how many people on your team now, Brandon?
There's 6 of us.
6 of you.
6 of us.
Oh, you've grown some. So you and I have talked, and I didn't.
We've grown bigger than that, and then we've gone the other way a little bit, and then we're pretty happy with the size of the branch right now. I've got a really good group of talented and, more importantly, motivated and dedicated to the industry loan officers.
Good.
The past few years for real estate and mortgage industry has been a challenge. So there's been a lot of loan officers that have a negative connotation towards the industry in general. They're just jaded. And I feel like we've got a really great culture. Everybody's positive about it and dedicated to doing the best job we can.
Well, yeah, I think you guys, the ones I know, I don't know some of the newer people you got, but the ones I know, you guys got, seemingly you all get along well.
Yeah.
And, it's, fun guys to be around.
Basketball goal in the office.
Yeah. We've got a Papa shot set up in there, cornhole. It's a good environment. We keep things light, but we're very serious about what we do.
Right.
As well.
Yeah, they are.
That's something I always tell people. I said, there's only 4 things you need to know, and I think it's probably the same in your business. Take care of the client. Don't ever lie to the client. Don't break the law, and have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
I had somebody ask me one time, so what about the money? I said, if you do those things, money will follow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about the money. And I know Candace is like me in this. When we do deals, we're working for the client. And I don't want this to sound sappy, but it's true. And many times, and I know Candace the same way, couldn't tell you what the commission is.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Because
now
we have to a little
the way
more.
we have to write things up.
Yeah.
But I will not calculate that out. Now, sometimes I can't help but to drive down the road and be like, okay, let's see here. But yeah, I won't know. I feel like it's bad luck.
I do too. I've always felt like it's like playing poker and counting your chips while you're still sitting at the table. You know, you never do that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm like Candace. I never calculated, although we had a $4.3 million deal that I had both sides of. I'm driving down the road and I'm going, okay, let's see, 4 million times 5. No, don't do that.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, and speaking of our team too, not only our sales team with our loan originators, what really sets us apart, and this doesn't get talked about enough, to be honest, is our operations that supports us. And we have a dedicated processor.
Processing is a huge key, and
It is, and underwriting. And I've got an underwriter that's been with me for years now that underwrites all of our loans, so I know exactly what's going to happen. And our team is very much, how do we get this done mindset, all the way from origination to closing, and to have that makes a huge difference. You know, there's so many times where you have processing and underwriting who are looking for ways to cover themselves to make sure nothing gets past them or a loan doesn't get closed that shouldn't have, that type of thing, instead of trying to find ways to get things done,
right,
and make it fit the guidelines. And it's very much how we do business, and I think it shows in the level of service we provide.
Yeah,
well,
it definitely does. You guys do a great job.
Appreciate that.
So, Candace, you got anything you want to add here? You know that I've been fans of these guys. They're my. I know that I can call them, and they're going to find the right program for my clients, no matter what. So I feel okay sending my clients to them. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, and Candace is telling. It's just not Brandon telling about his own company, but Candace has told me maybe somebody that you had worked with 6 months ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, I talked to Jacob today, and he said they're ready to go now.
Yeah, they will follow up. They will stick with them whenever they're working on everything, and that is huge, especially for whenever someone gets that no, and that's all they hear, and they don't have any follow up.
Yeah.
The no is all that sticks.
Yeah,
and they will continue to follow up.
Yeah, we want them to feel comfortable to call us. You know, especially a first time home buyer or something like that, where we tell them right up front. You know, they're going to have reservations. They're nervous. We're going to stick with you. At the very least, you're going to leave the phone call with a detailed plan on what we need to do to get you to that pre-approval.
Yeah.
If not right now, we're going to put you on that plan.
Mm-hmm. I think we're about running out of time, aren't we, Bobby?
We got
just about a minute left.
Okay.
About a minute
that's
left.
What I thought.
All right, Brandon, Luminate Bank. What's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
You can call us at the office, 812-962-4222, or you can always reach my cell as well at 449-6786.
Do you want to promote your website? Or
Yeah, it's our website is you can reach us at goluminate.com or brandonkrohn.goluminate.com.
Okay, even though Brandon can't say his name, he's really good at his job. Okay, no. And Candace, how can I get a hold of you?
They can call me on my cell, which is 812-455-6338, or they can call me on the team phone, and that's 812-430-1708.
And Charlie Butler, if the Charlie Butler team, if we can't sell your home, we'll buy it. We'll have you an offer within 48 hours. You can reach me on my cell, 812-499-7758. Or if you're curious about your home value, we've got an excellent program on our website that will give you a very quick home value. And it's so just go to charliebutlerteam.com. Bobby, how much time we got left?
None.
Oh.
Time to go.
So we can't talk about I don't have time to talk about the Cubs or nothing, or give you a hard time.
Correct. So you have to wait till next week.
Okay. So for Brandon Krohn, Candace DeArmond. This is Charlie Butler. And I'll even say for Bobby, too.
Oh, you're so generous.
That's me, Bobby. I'm generous to a fault. This is Charlie Butler. Have a great Sunday.
The following program is paid for by the Charlie Butler team. This program has been paid for by the Charlie Butler team. From the Kate Foppel Ford Studios, this is News Talk 1280 WGBF.